Welcome back to some more Tatarigoroshi, and where we last left off, Keiichi was at the clinic, and then so he was talking like coach and all about if it was really a dream or not, and came out with the biggest truth of all from him. So yeah, it was a I don't know if that's actually true or not. I don't know if Satoshi is really the one who is like ruining the plan and all. So anyway, continue reading. Okay, so it says, leaving me alone. The clock was about to strike 6. I was at the festival, and the uncle I'd killed was alive. Had I really committed murder yesterday? The only whisper of a fact that proved it happened was the absence of that bat from Satoshi's locker. In any case, I was glad that Coach had taken my nonsense seriously. I just confessed to murder. Normally that would frighten a person away, but Coach didn't run. He cried with me. I was glad he did. Like so, my tension smoothly melted away, and I suddenly realized I really had to urinate. I thought to use the restroom while Coach had stepped out. There was one across from the waiting room. As soon as I left the room, I saw Coach and 2 male doctors wearing white clothing standing in the shadows of the hallway nearby. I didn't particularly intend to eavesdrop or anything, but I was quite surprised upon noticing how uneasy they seemed. I hid behind a wall and quietly listened in. It seemed like Coach was giving directions to the 2 doctors. Black tea? I'll make some. Mix in ammobarbital. Oh god. Mix in ammobarbital or ravenol. Cover the taste with milk and sugar. He may grow suspicious at the sudden onset of drowsiness. It's possible he may get agitated and become violent. We will handle that. How many male staff are still here? 1 mountain dog, including us. 3. What was all of this? I think I was already agitated despite what Coach said. Was that it? Was it just a casual conversation and it was only sounding unbelievable to me? Coach said he would bring some black tea and left the room. And then in the shadows he was telling his subordinates to put some kind of sleeping powder in the tea. Plus, they were getting extra help in case I thought the son's sleepiness was suspicious and started getting violent. Hey, wait, Keiichi, my bar. Calm down, calm down. There's no way something this stupid could be happening. I mean, he was genuinely listening to my story and he even cried with me. I thought he was the one person in Hanamizawa who would understand. This was... There are signs of fabrications or falsehoods, and his memories of yesterday in particular are completely confused. He can no longer tell truth from falsehood. It's quite similar to multiple personality disorder, but as for how quickly this mental disorder emerged, it's just not normal. Maybe it's inborn, or perhaps there are worse signs of it before he moved here. I'd like to take a look at any records of him staying at a mental hospital before he moved here. In any case, I want him to take a quiet nap. The 2 doctors nodded deeply. I should probably contact my Barukun's parents too, though I can't think of what to tell them. Please find his home phone number for me. My eyes, still moist, began to shed tears once more. This was too cruel. I really thought he had actually understood and had believed what I told him. But now from the other side of that wall, he was bluntly treating me like a crazy person. I believed you. I had let down my guard because I thought you were the only ally I had left after that insane night. Was that a lie? All that about thanking me on Satoka's behalf, were you just pretending in order to keep me placated? Urgh. My tears fell to the floor in frustration. I was an idiot. I was such an idiot for believing that bastard. I heard footsteps approaching the doctors. A man in a dress shirt with no tie came running up. Miss Dr. Irie, it's terrible. They found Takano-san. Takano-san? Wait, where? Well, apparently they discovered her burned corpse in the mountains in Gifu. She's dead. In Gifu, she's dead. Takano-san. The men, all surprised, exchanged glances. Dead? Takano-san? Wait, no, so then, does that mean when I cursed her, wishing for her death, that wish was granted? What do you mean, burned corpse? Was it an accident? According to the Gifu police's statement, the possibility is extremely high that she was murdered. As I cried, I laughed quietly. Serves you right, serves you right. If I hadn't run into that woman, my murder would have been perfect. But she had just had to come up, driving up to me, and try to coerce me like that. I regretted not having killed her on the spot, but now she was dead anyway. My curse, my wish for her demise, it was fulfilled. Serves you right, bitch. Serves you right. Risa-san died. And Takano-san died. What on earth could be happening in Hinamizawa? Don't tell me that this was all Oyashiro-sama's curse for this year? Like hell, let the curse be real, Coach said. Everyone present just nodded, as Coach cursed at no one in particular. Yes, maybe it wasn't Oyashiro-sama, but this was definitely a spell, a curse. I wished for her to die, so she did. If this wasn't just a coincidence, and she died because I wished for it, then you'll die next, Coach. You betrayed me. You pretended to believe me, but deep down you thought I was a madman. You looked down on me with all that pity in your eyes. For now, get the black tea ready. I'll bring it inside. I don't think he'd let anyone besides me be alone with him. Shit. What do I do? What do I do, Keiichi Marbara? This time I heard the voice of a nurse. Dr. Irie? Oh, there you are. You have a phone call. I'm a little busy at the moment, so please tell them I'll call back. Who is it from? Mr. Ooishi from the Okinonomiya Police Department. Ah, sheesh, what bad timing. Alright, I'll answer it. Coach left to go answer the phone. The other men headed towards the room with the teapot to make the black tea, like Coach had ordered them to. Fortunately, Coach having to take that phone call meant there would be extra time for me to act. I had to decide what to do now. Would I let him make me drink the sedative infused tea, or be held down and thrown into a mental hospital? Nothing would come from starting a brawl here. They had more people anyway, and they were all bigger than me. If it came to a fight, I didn't stand a chance in hell. If I couldn't win against them, then there was only one thing left to do. Run. Adrenaline suddenly rushed into my brain, and my body started to move with keen instinct, like it had on that night. My surface temperature quickly cooled, and the transmission routes between my cells enlarged. Using 360-degree visual information, I searched for an escape route. I would open the window behind me. Outside was a parking lot. There were no cars. A little beyond there was the bicycle I had taken to get here. I determined that this would be the quickest method of escape. I approached the window swiftly, but with little sound, to raise as little suspicion as I could. With the speed and silence of a shadow, like I'd had on that night I chased her uncle. I unlocked the window and opened it up. A cool evening breeze wafted in. I stuck my head out and looked over the parking lot again. Nobody in sight, no need to hesitate. I quietly crawled outside and closed the window behind me. I held my breath and listened carefully. Nobody seemed to realize. Oh God. I held my breath and listened carefully. Nobody seemed to have realized I'd run. I looked around. Then I jumped onto my bicycle and zoomed away. The pedals clattered under the force. Had my bike always creaked like this? Did the pedals always whine every time I pushed down on them? My bike wasn't the only one crying, though. My tears fell as the wind cut through them. They rode the breeze and scattered behind me. Urgh. I hate this. I'm not the crazy one. Hinamizawa is... How? How dare you treat me like a madman? Die. Die. Just fucking die already. I believed you. I believed you. Ugh. I'd gone to the hospital in order to escape Reina and Mion's invitation, but the reality that was waiting for me had been too cruel. Who was insane? Me or Hinamizawa, the whole entire damn village? Or was the answer something else? I started having trouble breathing. I didn't have any clue what was happening anymore. The loud chirps of the Higurashi were irritating me. Ah, were even the Hinamizawa Higurashi I knew so well calling into the wind? No, that wasn't quite it. They weren't calling, they were crying. The pained wailing of those lost in some kind of rhythm in another world, no longer able to return to their own sunlight. I didn't do all that to end up in a world like that. And actually, at about this time, I might have been having fun with everyone else. Satoko would have gotten her smile back after realizing her uncle wouldn't ever come home, and she might have shown it to us at our first club meeting in a while. That was the kind of world I wished for. So what was this? Why did I end up in such a strange, ghastly world? Someone I'd killed was living like normal, and I had enjoyed myself at the festival despite not being there. I don't want it. I don't want this strange world. When did it start to go wrong? When? When? No matter how much I thought about it, I never understood. I rode swiftly and returned to my home. It had begun to rain during my journey back, and just like yesterday, I was now soaked. But I didn't care about something so trivial right now. The pain I felt in my heart that Coach, the one person I trusted, was acting so cruelly was far worse. Did I have no allies in Hinamizawa anymore? With the naive thought that I at least wanted my parents to side with me, I stepped up to the front door. Wait, Keiichi. It will be dark soon. There's something you want to check, right? Yes. I wanted to dig up the man's corpse and get a look at his back. If there was a tiger tattoo there, I wouldn't know beyond a doubt he was Satoka's uncle. That long night wouldn't end until I was certain. If this insane world was all reparation, all a divine punishment, then I needed to make certain whether I had been successful enough to even deserve to pay that price. I went to the storage room again and got the shovel. It had been washed in the rain, but the paint was peeling, making it look unsightly. I never ever wanted to touch this thing again. The sensation of it in my hands was totally different from the night before. There was a ruthless coldness about it. Yeah, it would be dark soon, so I need the lantern soon. It would be dark soon, so I need the lantern too. There would be a little bit of light from the street lights, but it would get extremely dark. I thought I'd put the lantern here, but I suddenly noticed it wasn't anywhere to be found. Then it hit me like a bolt of lightning. Of course, on that night, I hadn't brought the lantern back with me. I'd left it at the place I buried the body. If I didn't go to get it soon, it would get very dark. And then, not only would I be unable to find the spot I buried the corpse, but I wouldn't even be able to find the lantern itself. If that happened, it was all over. I need to hurry. In order to fit the shovel in the basket on the front of my bike, I'd need to twist it and disassemble it. But it looked like there was dirt in the joints, and no matter how hard I pushed, it didn't want to come apart. After a strenuous effort, I realized I couldn't get it apart, so I decided to hold it in one hand and ride my bike with the other. With the downpour soaking me through and a shovel in one hand, and riding one-handed, it was as if I'd returned to that night. No, return was the wrong word. It was more like that night had never ended. The pain of the raindrops striking me were no different from them. The thing that was different was Hinamizawa, the world and nothing else. The rain clouds were already making it dark, and now was about time for the sun to set. I could tell it would only get rapidly darker. The straight road leading to town, in the middle of it, that should be where I buried it. Yes, it was near that streetlight. On that night, too, the water from the downpour was splashing down from the streetlight's overhang like a waterfall. The pouring rain was exactly the same as it had been that night, and thus it brought my memories into focus. I left my bike in the brush and stepped into the forest, the ground already soaked with mud. Where had I buried him? Think. The darkness, the shadows, the water, the mud. Everything was the same. Think. Then I spotted the lantern by a fallen, moss-covered tree. That's right, I left it right there. If I left the lantern here, then I would have buried him over here. With the sensation of standing in the sludge, my feet remembered the spot better than my eyes did. I plunged my shovel into the ground. Ugh, it's hard. I wasn't here. I just dug it up, so it should have been softer. I stick my shovel down in a few spots to test what they feel like. One of them clearly felt deeper. I recalled where the lantern was, where the trees and things were in relation to each other, and knew that it had to be here. Under here slept that man's corpse. There would definitely be the tattoo of a tiger on his back, but if it wasn't there, then I had made a horrible mistake and killed someone completely unrelated instead. I would be more dazed at the fact that Satoko's uncle wasn't dead than I would regret having gotten someone else mixed up in this. If this insane world was punishment for the sin of committing murder, I wouldn't be able to accept it until I killed Satoko's uncle for good. And then, without any fear, I'd attack him again. And that time, I would kill him for sure. But what if the tattoo was there? That would mean I'd killed Satoko's uncle. But that would be terribly strange. If I killed him for sure, then who was the uncle at Satoko's house this very moment? Impossible. I didn't even know anymore when I was using the word impossible to refer to. I've used the word quite a few times today. If I had to make the words impossible fit just one thing, what would it be? That much was obvious to me. It would be impossible for this crazy world to be real. I shouted, then turned behind me. There was nobody there, of course. It would be impossible for this crazy world to be real. Oh God, he shouted. There was nobody there, of course. It hadn't been bothering me for a while, but those footsteps had followed me this entire day. Even just now, an extra set of footsteps had splashed behind me. No one was actually there. No indications of anyone, even. But they were there. Who are you? You've been following me ever since I came to this world. That's right. Thinking back, the first time I heard those footsteps was after Takano-san and I had parted. Those footsteps were my welcome into this strange inside-out world. No one could be there. I'd get no response. Whoever it was, they just kept staring at me. It wasn't ominous, just unpleasant. After staring into empty space for a bit, as I bathed in the rain, my illogical anger slipped away. My tension loosened, and a tired feeling reared its head. I tasted this feeling that night too. A sudden exhaustion I felt as the tension in my brain loosened. My vision quickly narrowed, and I felt like everything around me had suddenly gotten darker. I couldn't give into this sensation. I would light what little explosives were left in my brain and force myself to keep going. I needed to dig that man up before my stamina ran out. I needed to see the tattoo on his back. I caught my suddenly ragged breath and calmed down. Then, I stuck the shovel into the soft, muddy ground again. It felt exactly the same as that night. The sense of digging a hole in the beach, with water coming into it with every wave. What day was today? Had I gone back to that night of the Tanagashi? Every strange thought that came to mind tormented me. Given my exhaustion, I didn't think I could manage to get hold of those thoughts back. Once the hole was deep, all illumination finally faded, blanketing my vision in jet black. It was probably the moment the sun had fully set, too. That night, I had feared the worst, and gone without using much light. My senses were so strained that I could even see in that darkness. Now, I didn't have that kind of strength left. I drained everything I had last night, and now the darkness would be lethal. I decided to turn on the lantern. Putting it on the first setting would make it give off a faint light. Even with how little there was, it was enough. And people wouldn't be able to see it from far away in this rain. I grabbed the chilled lantern, turned the dial with a click, set it to the weakest light setting, and turned it on. An uncanny world of silhouettes appeared before me. A complex and strange shadowy world, created by the intricate entanglement of trees and branches. I had only turned on the lights, and it was like that was all it took to make the world into something else. I let out a quick, tired breath and wiped the wiped the liquid, neither rain nor sweat, from my brow. Then, I raised the shovel into the air and slammed it into the mud. That moment, the silhouettes surrounding me, ominously all moved at once. Inside my head, something packed in there, something coarse but not hot or cold, was loudly rushing about. The silhouettes were all around me, looking down at me, and one of them, a silhouette bigger than the others, stepped forward. Good evening. Oh, God, that scared the crap out of me. Jesus Christ. Oh. The moon sure is beautiful tonight. The coarseness in my brain shot through my whole spine and left me at my waist. The strength in my body all left me through my hips, and I crouched down with a splash into the sea of mud I dug myself. Ooishi? Is that really how you address your elders? You'll have a rough time of it once you become an adult. It wasn't only Ooishi, but 5 or 6 of them in a row, men wearing raincoats. I had no inkling that this many people had gotten so close. It was like, once I turned on the lantern, they just appeared there, sliding out of the shadows. Please don't mind us, just think of us as trees in the forest, perhaps. Don't mind them. Yes, pay no attention to us, please. Continue digging your hole. It's very late and raining very hard. You're working pretty fervently. We won't get in your way. Please, dig to your heart's content. No, thank you, I said. When I tried to get up and turn around, 2 men blocked that route. They stood on either side of me and lifted me up with amazing strength, then threw me into the sea of mud. As I soaked in the mud bath I dug for myself, I looked up at the silhouettes looking down at me. Ooishi squatted, picked up my shovel, and threw it at my feet for me. It bounced loudly off the mud and hit me in the face. Come, please continue. Continue. I couldn't bear the oppressiveness of the silhouettes surrounding me, and slowly I stuck the shovel into the mud again. I felt like I was digging my own grave. If I kept digging, it wouldn't matter whether there was a tattoo or not, because that man's corpse would appear eventually. It was all over. surrounded on all sides and nowhere to go. But I just couldn't figure it out, no matter how much I thought about it. Why were they here? Was it Takano-san? There was only one person who could have made the connection between me and this place. Shit, I knew it. She deserved to die. Stopping so soon? Ah, bam. Ooishi kicked me in the back, which took me by surprise, sending me flying into the mud. Hurry up and dig, please. You really should consider the fact that some of us are not standing out here in the rain. Fuck you. If you don't like the rain, then just go home. Grr. Ooishi kicks some mud into... Oh my god, what an asshole. Ooishi kicks some mud into my face. Work, please, instead of talking. Only people from the red light district do both at once. Isn't that right, boys? The men around him didn't react, not knowing quite whether they should laugh, but when Ooishi glared at them, they started mumbling out pained chuckles. Just who was this guy? I knew the world had changed after that night, but if I went even further back, didn't it start when this guy showed up? That was when our peaceful days had been taken from us. Ever since he showed up in Hinamizawa, things had been odd. Everyone stopped smiling and the world went crazy. The ground under my feet gradually got harder and heavier. At this point, even I started to think something was odd. I hadn't buried them this deep on that night, had I? My exhaustion peaked, and I sat down on the spot. How long do you want me to dig? Kids these days have no stamina. Hey, you. At Ooishi's gesture, the man... Oh god. At Ooishi's gesture, the men all pulled out their own sinister-looking shovels. As I watched a daze, one of them grabbed my collar, dragged me out of the hole, and threw me to the ground. The rest of the men stepped into the hole I dug and started shoveling themselves. As I stared at them, dumbfounded, Ooishi sauntered over and squatted down to look at me directly. Keiichi, my Bara-san, is this a hobby of yours? Digging holes on rainy nights? When I didn't respond, Ooishi took one of the tin buckets they were using to bail out the muddy water, scooped up some of it, and splashed the whole thing in my face. Cough, cough, cough. The rain's heavy today too. No matter how wet I get, I still don't understand the appeal. Ooishi smiled to himself, then scooped up another bucketful of muddy water. I'll ask you again, is digging holes on rainy nights your hobby? Who the hell would have a hobby like that? Splash. Ooishi hit me with another bucketful of muddy water. The pebbles in it stung. Will there be something in that hole? I've always liked that story, about the old man who could make plants bloom and a puppy digging in his yard for gold. As he spoke, he ran the bucket through the muddy water again, to splash it in my face again. What kind of treasure is buried down there, Can't you at least give me a hint? If you want to know, then dig on your own time, you fucking pig. I wasn't saying that out loud, but Ooishi mercilessly... Fucking irritating as shit. I wasn't saying that out loud, but Ooishi mercilessly drenched me in muddy water again anyway. Shit, shit, shit. If only you hadn't shown up, the world wouldn't have gone wrong. Ever since you showed up, things have been strange. Satoko got abused by her uncle, I ended up killing him, and the world went crazy. He was how it all began, because of this culprit. He splashed another bucket of mud in my face. My insides were seething with anger. Die, you die too. If I have some strange power to kill someone by cursing them, like with Takano-san, then you're dead. And it won't be Yashiro-sama's curse, it'll be mine. I'll curse you and kill you. What a rebellious look you're wearing. Why don't we use this opportunity to teach you a thing or two in that regard? We really do live in peace these days. When I was about your age, corporal punishment was the norm for everything. Ooishi-san. One of the digging men in raincoats wiped some sweat off and called Ooishi over. Ooishi tossed the bucket away, then turned around with an evil grin on his face. Yes, what is it? Please, look at this. No, let's see, acceptance, or maybe resignation. I wanted to say to them, so you blockheads finally found it. Yeah, that's right, I'm the one who killed him. But you're the police, so it's your own job to figure out who he is, right? Come on, prove to me that he's really Satoko's uncle. What on earth? We think it's an old drain pipe. It seems to be connected to the irrigation channel over there. Let's smash the thing. It's not being used, is it? The men all exchanged glances, then hesitantly broached another topic. Ooishi-san, the ground down there is pretty hard. I don't think anything could be deeper than this. Did we get the location wrong? No, at first it definitely felt like the place had been dug up before. But after digging so far, the ground suddenly hardened. We think we've gone down further than the hole that was originally dug. So, what does that mean? There was a hole here and someone filled it back up? Is that what you're trying to tell me? What? What were they talking about? Like, what the hell? Well, I'm at a loss, aren't you, my Bara-san? Ooishi grabbed my collar and dragged me to the hole. Oh, God. Ooishi grabbed my collar and dragged me to the huge hole they dug. The mud inside was like an ocean, and I couldn't see any drain pipe down there. One of the men stirred it with a shovel, letting me hear it clang against something hard. There was no doubt I'd buried him right here, but I hadn't buried him this deep. I didn't dig deep enough to unearth an entire drain pipe. So, then, this man, his corpse, where was it? Proof that I had been successful on that night was gone. Gone. Then what on earth was I actually crazy after all and just possessed by the delusion that I killed someone? That couldn't be. It was the unmistakable truth. It couldn't have been a hallucination, but now the most important evidence that it had been an illusion was gone. I killed him. I buried him. I had absolute unwavering confidence in that fact. Then, did I fail to kill him? After I left here, had he started breathing again, crawled out, and gone back to Satoka's house? Was that it? I had come here to see whether he had a tattoo or not, and yet the truth I unearthed was far more than that. Yesterday, what was I? I killed him, I buried him, there was no doubt. But for some reason he lived and crawled back out. There's no way he would live. He bashed in his head like a few times and crawled back out. And that was impossible too. I'm so tired of hearing the word impossible over and over. I get it. Dead people don't like to play by the rules here in Hinamizawa. Then I'll kill you as many times as I need to. I'll keep killing you until you never show your face to Satoko again. Ooishi and the others were muttering to each other. Eventually their conversation ended and Ooishi came towards me. What did he want to say? What did he want to do? I stiffened, tensing up, and then Ooishi just ignored me like I wasn't even there and passed right by me. The other men too, they ignored me and shuffled away. Eventually, there was no longer a sign that anyone was around, and I returned to my quiet world of silhouettes. The only one left there was me. Only the sound of the pouring rain filled up the silence. What? He was buried there, then what the hell happened? I received new tips, inquiry request, and record of malice. It's gone. Oh, God. Alright, so... Let's see. Let's view some new shit. Inquiry request. Okonomiya Police Station Command Center transmission recording. June 20, 8:08 p.m. This is the Okonomiya Security Police. We read you loud and clear. Hello, we'd like you to look up a license plate for us. Something, 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 something. All right. Please give us just a moment to look it up. Thank you. Number match. Something. Owner, whatever. Address, Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone, whatever. Excuse me. Vehicle, make, and model. Something that reports, none. Special mentions, nothing of note. Okonomiya Security Police Ooishi. We found the license plate from earlier. Ooishi, do you read? Ooishi, please respond. Huh? Am I getting a bad signal? Anyone in Ooishi's car, please read. Nothing, eh? Ooishi-san wanted the license plate check? Whose car was it? Someone from the village. A completely average car. Who was it? If Ooishi-san was asking, then it can't be anyone good, right? The special mentions column is completely blank. No indications it's related to the S group either. And no demerits on it. Maybe it passed him on the road and he got mad. That guy isn't the type to forget a grudge. And that was it. So, the blank screen, record of malice. He said it smelled. He said the food smelled. He said it smelled because I smelled. He said I smelled because I don't take bath. He said to take a bath 3 times a day because I was a smelly person. He said I had to stay in the bath for a long time every time. He must be possessed by something too. This is the same thing the man who died said. Why does he know that the man had said before? That much is obvious. The same thing that possessed that man is now possessing him. Can't a sudden earthquake make a big hole in front of the house? If it did, he would definitely go and look into it. And then I just have to push him in. I won't give in until I get that chance. I won't give in, I won't cry. I won't give in, I won't cry. Ah, someone is apologizing again. So, it's playing this scary music again. So I'm just going to end this here. So next part, we're going to move on to the 12th chapter. I think we got like a couple more to go. So it's going to be a little bit of a while. So, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys later. Have a good one.